Never Stop Learning, week 312. We're going to take a quick look at the Arc tool in Adobe Illustrator CC 2017. Alright, so the Arc tool has been around for a really long time and I never really put it to use. Big shout out to Jason Hoppy. I was actually following along with one of his tutorials the other day and it called for the Arc tool. I didn't feel like I knew what I was doing with it, so I studied up on it and now I'm making this video here. Alright, cool. So over here on the left in the Tools panel, starting at the top, over here we have the Line Segment tool. In the same stack, that's where you see the Arc tool. Alright, I'm going to release and now I have the tool activated. First thing I want to do is hit Enter or Return on my keyboard, and that brings up the Arc Segment tool options. Alright, in here it's going to show you the length of the x-axis, but more important, over here on the right, you get a preview of what your arc is going to look like. Alright, so over here for the x-axis, I'm going to hold down the Shift key and use the up arrow key. And then you see the preview updated. And I'm going to come back down. Alright, I'll tab over to the length y-axis and just do the same thing. Alright, so now you see it spinning in the different direction. Alright, cool. Over here in the middle, you have your origin point. Alright, so I'm going to click on the bottom left. And you'll see that this switches up the orientation of your arc. All right, so I'll go with that. Actually, I want to leave it over here. That looks good. All right, next we have type. In the drop-down menu, you could choose between open or closed. I'm going to switch over to closed. When I click on that, it's going to give us a closed path. All right, back in here, I'm going to choose open, and that way I'm just working with a segment. All right, next, it's asking if we want to base this along the y-axis or the x-axis. Basically, in here, we're able to flip the arc. All right, cool. Down over here, we have slope. All right, so over on the right, I'm going to change the value by holding down the Shift key and use the down arrow key. As I get towards the center, we're going to flatten things out. And then as I get towards the left, we get more of a concave shape. All right, I'm going to come back towards the right, and that brings it more convex. All right, let's see. The last option we have here is Fill Arc. When you click on that, it's going to apply a fill to the stroke. If you leave this unchecked, it's only going to draw the stroke with no fill. All right, I'm going to choose OK, and nothing happens. All right, so next I'm going to click on the artboard, and that's going to bring back the Arc Segment Tool options. All right, so the problem is I don't get a preview in here. All right, I'm just going to click OK and see what happens. All right, that's going to drop off the arc for me over here. All right, now that panel is great for precision, but I kind of just want to work on the fly and be a little bit more creative with it. So here I'm going to do a click and drag. All right, so my starting point is on the left. I'm going to come over here towards the center. Now I need to actually flip this. So before I release the mouse, I'm going to hit the F key, and that's going to flip that for me. All right, now the curve isn't quite matching up. So I'm going to bring this guy down, and I could use the arrow keys. I'm going to go up and down. All right, that's going to switch up the slope. Now that looks pretty good to me, so I'm going to release, and I'll come over here, just make some changes to the stroke. I'll go with a white stroke, and over here I'm actually going to switch things up and go with a round cap. All right, that looks pretty good. Now as I zoom out, let's see what we got here. Now I want to add one more highlight down over here at the bottom. So I'm going to zoom in. All right, great. I'm going to use the Arc tool again right here in the center, click and drag. But again, I got to flip this. So I'm going to hit the F key. And let's see, if you wanted to draw out a closed path, then just hit the C key and that will bring it over to a closed path. All right, I'm going to hit the C key again and we're just left with a segment. I'm going to bring it in over just slightly and change the arc a little bit. All right, I'm going to release. That looks good. I'll zoom all the way out. And now I got these awesome highlights using the Arc tool. So there you have it, folks. That's a quick look at the Arc tool in Adobe Illustrator CC 2017.